It's a trap. Trap against Oz, the final best of 3 in our afternoon session here at the GSL Code A with Wolf and Caldor.
Yeah, we have our Protoss versus Protoss now coming up, and Trap was one of the players who actually got a seed into Code A, so he didn't have to qualify, one of the Casper players. The map is loading. Map number 1 is going to be Entombed Valley here, and Oz was struggling lately, especially in the GSTL quite a bit, so let's see if he's able to take down Trap and advance to the second round. The game has started, and here we go. Bottom left, we have the Fnatic player, or Protoss in the red. It is the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, there he is. Once said that PvP is all about skill, and if you think it's about luck, I'll beat you. And then his PvP win rate dropped below 50%.
Yeah, exactly. That was at the Fnatic Raid Call Invitational that we had like half a year ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago now.
Yeah, at the Fnatic house actually. To the top left, we currently have his opponent, one of the Casper players, in blue. This is Trap. And yeah, that quote was actually really funny. That was after... No, actually I think it was before he played one of the PvPs. Wasn't it up against Hero or Seed, one of the two of them? And then you asked him in the interview what he thinks about the matchup, if he thinks it's too volatile. And he said like, nope, it's all about skill.
Then he lost in the round of 8, I believe it was, or maybe it was even the round of 4. Actually, I think it was the round of 4. It was the season, was it against Squirtle? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was. That was the season that Squirtle played against MVP in the finals. And Parting played against MVP in the round of 4 as well. Yeah, I remember that. After Naniwa lost to MVP previously. Yeah, that season. Okay, so that season he lost, and from then on, man, he's been struggling in this matchup really a lot.
He spends probably too much time with his girlfriend, I think.
Maybe. No. Maybe.
No idea what it is. Yeah, she is. But, well, right now he has to focus a little bit on StarCraft if he wants to reach the second round. It would be quite tragic for him if he would drop down to Code B. But Trap, being one of the seeded players, of course, has ambitions for the GSL.
I watched a lot of Traps play in Pro League, and his seed as well. He's a really strong Protoss. People joke that Pro League was a lot of PvP, and then StarCraft 2 got switched over, but a lot of Protoss players playing in those other leagues were really strong. The strongest Castle players coming out were Protosses. Just look at Rain, for example, in Code S. Insanely good player.
You know how you could actually describe the play of Oz against Protoss right now? You could also just sum it up with mentioning that at the MLG Summer Championship, he lost to Killer with 2-1.
Yeah.
Actually, Killer's worst matchup by far, as all of you guys obviously know, is the PvP. So if Killer is able to win against Oz, this already says a lot. But to give you a few additional information about Oz PvP, but just lately, he lost to Tier in the GSTL, he lost to Yonghua, he also lost to Killer, as already mentioned before. With the 2-0, Grubby was able to defeat him at IEM Cologne. The only Protoss player that was recently not able to win against Oz is actually Ailscout, who still took a map at the IEM Cologne, but was not able to win the best of 3 series. So it's currently a pretty tough time to be Oz.
Yeah, he's not really in Kansas anymore, to be honest. He's really struggling here. He's like having to live in a new world where PvP has changed a lot. He has tried all sorts of crazy things. One of 2 players to ever use a Nexus first in a televised match in PvP.
Oh, the Cloud Kingdom game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not go too well.
No, it did not. Neither did it for Puzzle, but Stargate is actually on the way for a Trap here.
Yeah, whereas Oz starts things off immediately with the Twilight Council.
And this can be a great build-order situation for Oz, depending on how he uses this. Because if he gets Blink first, then he's going to be ready to defend against Stargate play. He can transition to defending it well. If he goes DTs, on the other hand, if the force fields for Trap are not spot on, you can actually just get an auto win. This is a bad situation for Oz. Try to get some scouting information done. He's totally trapped, no pun intended, by that force field.
You can say what you want, but that was so intended. You were waiting for that to happen.
No, I wasn't, man.
Wolf sitting there on the edge of his chair. Please force field, and ha! It's a trap.
Well, that stalker tried to click his red slippers together and said there's no place like home, but Blink research wasn't done. He couldn't get away.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blink just has been started. So, well, let's see if Oz is able to take this series. At some point, he has to break. I don't want to call it a curse. So far, there's only one confirmed curse out there. It's the AG curse.
Yeah.
You know that I've actually never heard about the AG curse before the video came out?
Actually, the same is true of me. I
I was like, what?
EG was pretty good with their marketing there. It may not have even been a thing until the video came out.
So Scoot's just trying to put it under the rug, and then suddenly he's like, what, you guys didn't even know about it? Oh, damn.
This is a very aggressive attack by Oz, who has no scouting information whatsoever what Trap is doing, who's hiding his Phoenixes, so he doesn't have a lot of energy to defend if he stays at home, but he's not.
Yeah, he's moving out right now. He's moving at the left side of the map and trying to get into the mineral line of Oz, of course.
The chances of Trap holding this, man, with no Phoenixes at home and with only a few sentries and zealots, I mean, there's basically nobody, no way, no how he can hold this against this many stalkers. Yeah, Blink is done.
And Trap is unsure what to do. He's hesitating. He moves back, then he tries to fly into the expansion of his opponent once again. There's the force field, but as soon as he has vision, he can't just go in. Now the Phoenix have, of course, been spotted since they are attacking the mineral line of Oz, but Oz has the means of taking this game if he's able to get in here. Trap, on the other hand, with the Immortals, the first one is ready. That will help him so much against those Blink Stalkers.
It's going to help so much that I just don't even think that Oz's attack can work anymore, and he's losing more Harvesters back at home.
Yes,
worker count down now for him just slightly. It's 25 to 24. But it's going to become a bigger problem as time goes on, as the Immortal tech is far ahead, and Immortals are a better tech option than Blinkstalkers.
Oz is currently just waiting for this one Observer to come out and to give him some vision on the high ground. The big problem is, as soon as the Observer is over at
he's already
Trap's
going to have
main
3
base,
Immortals.
Exactly, the Immortals are going to be out, so he doesn't have the time.
And he didn't even rally the Observer, so much time lost there.
Yeah, expansion now being built for Oz. He's building another Nexus. Those 3 Phoenixes are giving him a little bit of a hard time and are able to take down one Harvester after another. In total, already 6 have been killed, as you could just see. But it's not as bad as if there were like 5 of them. So the additional mineral, the additional energy that they have to actually lift another unit is being used to just take down more Harvesters. And this one Phoenix is living a very, very dangerous life.
Yeah, I would not want to be that Phoenix. Shields or not, man, that's not a comfortable situation. Oz very behind in tech. Robotic support bay already coming up here for Trap. He may just try to break out and go for a counterattack and kill Oz. Oz has a very soft containment setup here. He's got just the 1 sentry. He's going to start picking away at some of these units. A good force field here to actually isolate some of those units, but he cannot save his zealots. Well, 1 zealot.
Yeah, he isolated them. He didn't trap them.
Yeah, he certainly did. And now this is a very awkward situation, actually. There's Phoenixes and some Zealots in the Stalker coming from a forward pylon.
He doesn't have the energy, though, for the Graviton Beam, so he can't really use it, but he has to work against those,
this is actually
against the Zealots, and now suddenly we have another 50 energy for another Graviton Beam.
This is so cool.
Oz is in a very, very weird situation where he's losing Harvesters.
He's dealing with a small force of units supported by Phoenixes that are actually just killing workers because he just didn't have enough units at home. This is a great way to break the contain as well. Now Trap can move down the ramp.
And Trap has the first Colossus already. He has just a much better unit composition. The only thing that Oz has, he has basically gateways. That's it. He doesn't have any kind of high attack. So if Trap actually decides to move out, and that's exactly what he does, he will be able to do a lot of damage. He has a Colossus, he has a lot of Immortals as well, and he has the gateway units in order to back it up, in addition to the 2 Stalkers that are still available.
Yeah, this army is just not quite strong enough to even force Trap to move back. He's already too far across the map. Oz is really worrying right now. He's trying to decide if he wants to walk the long way around with his Stalkers or try to blink through. And either way, he may be able to pick off 1 Immortal, but it's just, there's too much DPS here. Does he want to risk it? That is the choice he's going to have to make here. He won't target down this pylon, perhaps.
No, he tries to, but the 2 Immortals are able to force the Stalkers back once more. And now Trap is moving in. Here come the Phoenix, picking off the 1 sentry. No force field. Wouldn't have been of too much help anyways because of the Colossus, but now suddenly you can see that he's desperate. Oz is desperately trying to take down the Colossus. He's not actually getting them. Finally he dies, but so many units of Oz have already been killed, and now suddenly he's down to 38 supply against 63.
A brilliant attempt to hold by Oz here, but it's just too much. Trap has too many Zealots here. The Stalker's in a decent position, and the Immortal pops out, but it's not targeting. Now it starts to a little bit, but
the force field was great, making sure that the Immortal can't retreat into the main base. It's being picked off, and the only thing that keeps Oz in the game for now is his blink upgrade. But in the long run, he just won't be able to make this work.
He just can't keep his Nexus alive, and if he loses that, then he loses the only advantage he has in this game.
So true, he has Blink, but what good is Blink going to do him if he can't run past his opponent's army? Suddenly he's trapped in his own main base, and the STX Protoss player is just making sure that this Nexus is not going to survive. He has too many units, too many Stalkers. The Phoenixes with a high ground vision, even able to pick up another couple of Stalkers with a Gravity Beam. Really well played by Trap so far, and now even an Immortal arrives at the fight.
You know, Oz just doing an amazing hold, to be quite frank, against what he was up against, but it's still looking grim because he doesn't have the tech he needs to move into this game smoothly. Doesn't have a robotic support bay, doesn't have any more Immortals out. He's got 8 Blink Stalkers and a Sentry. No way to stop his opponent's Nexus from going up. He's got that forward pylon up over there, but it's not going to be very useful.
The Harvest account is better for Oz, but that's not going to help him a lot, especially since Trap is now setting up his own expansion and Oz just simply can't do anything about it. He cannot move out right now, he's completely contained by his opponent. And the tech is just so much better. With everything that Trap has now, he has an advantage in this game. He is, well, containing Oz.
Yeah, he's totally stuck here.
And it's not like Oz has suddenly some kind of Colossus tech on the way that he can move down the ramp or whatever. He cannot crush force fields, so it's really hard for him to engage into this army that is waiting on the bottom of the ramp. One force field will cut his units off. He can blink with the Stalkers, of course, but into what? Into the Immortal that already is on the low ground, into the Zealots and the additional units that we have. The one pylon that you mentioned already, to the top, that's the one thing that he can use, but there is already another force being accumulated for Trap at
he's waiting for 6 Zealots, which is smart, because it's going to do more that way, but Trap is moving back already, so he's hoping that Trap is going to stick with the aggressive contain, similar to how Oz actually went forward earlier, but it's not going to work because he's already back home. Now he's actually warped in so many Zealots, they're all going to go to their death.
And Trap, of course, knows that Oz is currently running out of minerals in his main base, and with his own expansion being built, it's too hard for Oz to catch up in this game in economy, so him building an expansion is not going to be the answer. Therefore, Oz kind of has to attack. Trap moves back, defends his own Nexus.
He's got so many sentries available, 4 sentries, all of them with basically full energy left on them, and
the Immortals too.
This is not going to be very effective. There's not much that Oz can do. Once the Colossus comes out, this is going to be game over. 3 Zealots and a Stalker already trapped here. And he's not knocked that. He's just knocking these Stalkers down. They blink up, they try to target Immortals, but they're all trapped in between literally a force field and a hard rock there.
Yeah, there it is. Another lift at the Immortal, the one Immortal that he has in all times. GG. Game number 1 is over and ends in favor of the Casper Protoss player.
He looks really happy, you know? Some genuine smiling and emotion going there, almost a little bit of relief. You could see how his breathing was going there.
Exactly. He looked really relieved after this game, but he takes the lead in the best of 3 series, and Oz, well, he has to step up his game.
He really does, man. You know, if he doesn't, he's going to be finding that Code B is a code of a different color. It is not Code A, man. No prize money there. No... You know, no reputation there. It's like Oz is someone who's so known for his intelligence. He was a coach who was played on Heights Sparkies, joined Epic's Open, did really well, fast became one of the best players, and joined Epic's Open, did really well there. Great performances in Code S and overseas, but suddenly, recently, he just cannot win. He just can't do it, especially in this matchup.
And the big problem for Oz with Code B is also that in Code B itself, it was hard enough to qualify a couple of seasons ago, but suddenly you have all these Casper players who try to get into the GSL, who try to get into Code A, so the competition is a lot fiercer than it already was a few months ago. At this point, it's really incredibly hard to get into Code A. So you don't want to drop out, you really don't want to do that. Now we have Abyssal City coming up, and Oz, he needs a win here.
He really does. This is the last chance for Oz on his final legs here.